Alright, everybody. I have a few more evidence clips from BR, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that I want to upload, but that'll be later. I wanted to make this video to at least give people an understanding, and yes, this is a continuation of the Metroid Prime Fusion. Figured I might as well finish it from where I left off. Anyway, because the significance of what this technology is capable of, that a lot of us, like myself, have been experimented with and on. We've warned people about this, of how serious it is and how dangerous it is. We've met with many obstacles in doing this. We've met with different trolls trying to harm our credibility. As a result, we've met with resistance because of this as well. And the thing about this is that that's predominantly what they want. They don't want people believing what we're saying, because, and in most cases, they tend to try to turn us into no better than what they are. This is where the confusion comes in, because unfortunately, unless you've experienced what we've experienced, you just don't understand how bad this is. A lot of us who speak out against this corruption hope that it doesn't ever have to come to that, and it shouldn't. No one should ever have to experience the pains and the suffering that many of us have already endured. No one should. We don't wish this upon even our worst enemies. No one should ever have to go through this. Imagine a criminal. It doesn't matter what kind, because in this case you can think of any kind. Think of a criminal basically, and the fact that you think of an innocent person. Now, what if you can basically, pretty much stream, or should I say, project that mentality of what makes that criminal so bad onto someone else, therefore changing the good nature of that person into something that they're not. That is what I'm getting at here. We have been victims of this for quite some time. A lot of us have. And it's made it so embarrassing that we don't really go too far into detail about it because of how bad it is. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to stop speaking out against it. No. We're going to do our best to continue to help and to at least warn as many people as possible of how bad this is. Now, the significance of this is that there has been so many people speaking out against this, man. So many people who just want to live natural lives, but you got to understand, we, on a daily basis, all of us who are going through this program have been hit with, not all of us, not everyone's going through this phase, but it gets there. It does. But, a lot of us have undergone several different things, such as workplace harassment, just common, place harassment, even in grocery stores and local areas and stuff like that. That's all by design, all pre-programmed before we even arrive. And our every movements, our every actions are being surveyed. But you may think they're going to try to feed you a lie, a story, trying to basically tell you that they're justified in what they're doing. But these people want scapegoats. They want scapegoats so that they can just go ahead and implement this technology for the public to just accept it. You need to understand, this is not something that should ever be accepted. It shouldn't, because it's quite dangerous. It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't in the hands of these narcissistic people who are just tormenting and torturing people for money. Many different gangs and many different other factions of criminality, or should I say, criminal organizations are involved in this. They've experimented on people, even women who have been pregnant with children, and as well as their unborn child as well. This has been a common thing that's been happening with this technology and with the people using it. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know all the stuff that, of what their underground businesses have entailed. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know any of this. They just want you to know exactly what they're going to tell you. That's it. That's it. And they want you to just accept what they tell you without question. That's precisely what this is. The thing is that those of us who are going through this, those of us who are being harassed and attacked by these, these rogue frequencies, and are being constantly dashed with, and immediately flooded with radiation on a daily basis, you gotta understand, man. We can't undo the damage that's been done to us. From radiation, it's not possible. A woman who is getting exposed to radiation, whatever defects she gets from that passes on to her offspring. So explain to me, how can you justify that? You can't. You just can't. The amount of things that go on, man. The amount of things that go on and all this corruption, it's not until people actually go through it that they actually start to realize that this is some serious stuff, and it is not a laughing matter. It's not funny, and anybody who finds humor in it is really just a narcissistic negative person who finds humor in other people's suffering, man, and that's just not good. When you see how serious this stuff is, you start to feel bad for those who actually are going through this, because they have to deal with it on a daily basis. I want people to understand, you need to get it, that there are these frequencies that we are being hit with. They're hitting us with this stuff in our sleep. They're hitting us with this stuff when we are awake. We're going through almost constant gaslighting and pre-programmed harassment. That's unique to us because it's basically meant for only us to see it, not for the general public to notice it. And because of this, a lot of this harassment goes on without anybody really noticing it. I hope someday soon we can put a stop to this. I truly do. Because no one should ever have to go through this. It is not until you actually experience that you will really understand what I'm getting at. People who have spoken out against the chemtrails, people who have spoken out against all this harassment that's going on, they're trying to prevent you from going through this. They're trying to prevent anybody from having to go through the same pain and suffering they went through. They're trying to spare you from this. But what do we get in return? No, barely any support at all. You get so many people speaking out against this, but you gotta, just how big this organization is that does this is because it's all involved in human trafficking. All of it is involved in human trafficking. And the reason why human trafficking has never ceased to stop is because it's just so many wealthy people involved. So many people who are basically, funding it. People who are investing in it for their own selfish reasons. And as a result, you remember the Kanika Jenkins case. People felt bad about her, but they would have never guessed that she was a TI. Someone who's basically being hit with frequencies and manipulated into doing or going somewhere that she inevitably did not want to go. People who were closest to her have spoken out about it, and they also are going through the same thing. As big of a thing as that was, you want to know what's super odd? How something like that caught so much attention, but just as soon as other people who are around her starts talking about the same thing that we're going through, they get ignored. Does no one find that suspicious? Or is it just me? I'm not the best person in the world, but I don't want no one else to have to suffer like this. They use the manipulation and they use the confusion to their advantage. hoping people would just view things from a common standpoint. This is no longer the common way to where, like, if someone breaks the law, then that person's solely responsible. No, this stuff is a lot more unique than that. Way more unique. And judging by the way this crime is, someone who actually is a perpetrator of these types of crimes, any crime at all, you name it, it doesn't really necessarily matter because they can range from just about anything. There's usually a huge track record with involving a lot of TIs, especially ones who have been blacklisted. And it's an everyday thing, but all of it all goes back down to all hypnosis. All of it goes towards hypnosis. All of it deals with this illegal experimentation, and and whenever people finally figure it out what this really is, the victim of this crime they never get justice for any of what happened. They don't. Some of us just gets pinned for stuff that it's either not true or possibly, I say possible, or allegedly been forced into due to the fact of this nature of this technology. Because if you beam in frequencies into somebody, how can that person actually have control over themselves if someone is trying to constantly brainwash, manipulate, and turn them into something they're not? I mean, let's really look at this for what it is. Can you really blame that person? Can you truly? When everywhere that they go, it's the same thing. And you see, that's just it. They know people would have a sense of justice, and they utilize that to their advantage, while protecting people who are actually like that. That's just what they do. And I've lost track of how many people have died, suffered, and had their lives entirely destroyed by this destructive program. Every day, we fight for our very sanity from this program. And it is not easy. It is. There are TIs who are living out of their own vehicles because of how badly their lives have been destroyed due to this program. Every day is a constant day of some harassment from somewhere or someplace. They can't get help from the cops. They can't get help from not even the government, because the government's involved in this program. Wow, I am just messing up on these controls right now. Okay. Some of the TI stories I've heard are heartbreaking, though. There have been female TIs out there who have had children, and as a result, it's either they have their own child turned against them, or their own children get tortured as well. And you got to think about that. people, these people who are trying to tell you what's right and wrong are the same ones doing this. People who they're doing this covertly. They find some type of excuse to emphasize the fact that they poisoning someone. Doing this illegal experimentation. And guess what? When people find out what's actually going on, they get threatened. They get threatened to actually not do or say anything. But what happens to the actual true people who want to help others out, who want to do the right thing? They get targeted by this program as well. It is up to us to literally stand by the side of those who are willing to fight against this, man. Because if we don't, and this is my message out to those who have yet to even experience this, I don't want you to have to go through this. I don't want your kids to have to go through this damn program. But that's what these perpetrators want. They want to actually make it so that this actually has to happen, to where people are going through this. But it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't. Wait, did I save? Better to be safe than be sorry. I'm at 16 minutes. Not bad. But you know something, man? If people wait, we're past the point of just waiting at the last minute. People are sitting there fighting for you every day, trying to spare anybody else from going through this. But you know something? The biggest problem of all is the fact that people don't question this. You see, they don't question the facts and, all the information that they're given from these other people, these officials. Turns out you find out that these police are involved in a lot of this stuff that's going on. A lot of this corruption, and they have a major role in the midst of it. People end up finding out the hard way. You try to warn as many people as you can, but then you gotta understand, we are dealing with people who are either fully complicit with this program, and we're dealing with people who are just completely blindsided by it and have absolutely no idea what they are actually getting themselves involved in and what they're allowing to happen. There are people who are being lied to as well as being manipulated. Alright everyone, I'm going to end it here. I felt like playing a little bit more of this and also, sharing this little bit of information. Now, the videos that I'm uploading that you guys have seen, the last two, which is the evidence from Baton Rouge, those are evidences from my other channel, okay? I do have evidence that I have yet to ever show any of you guys, and I'm debating whether I even want to show some of the other evidence that I got too. Some of that's dealing with my family. I may just do audio But I don't know. That's that. I still love my family, but at the same time, like, there's no denying what's been done. But I get it. I get it. They were lied to, manipulated, cheated, and also when it came to the time of when they start to realize what was going on, they were forced. That's what I'm trying to spare people from. Because it's not until you actually experience that you get what this is. The thing is that they can literally condition someone into something that they're not. And that's what they've been trying to do to us for years. There have been so many incidences with this, man, and people have been pleading, warning other people out about this, but no one, people just turn a blind eye to it as if like it's not even happening. It's just like as if like it's just nothing. People, we are in times right now where this is very serious. You can either, start actually questioning the reality you're in, or you can actually allow yourself to drown with the rest of these blind sheeple into this this whole paradigm that's basically conditioning and programming everybody. If you want to know what the vaccine is, it's basically them trying to inject nanoparticles and nanotech in your system. When they do this, they go based off the profiles and off the DNA they extracted from you off the test. All of this is all that they need to do, as well as all of these these different choices you made. You're using Facebook, you're using Instagram, you're using all this stuff, put in all these things that you're interested in, that makes you happy, that makes you sad, that makes you angry, all of this stuff. They use that as a profile system. This is my warning to the world. Do not buy into their lie. Do not allow yourself to buy into this, because if you do, they're gonna do the same thing to you that they've been doing to us for years. Remember, everybody, stay strong with positivity and stay fierce against negativity.